Hey R2DA Ollie here. Is R4D cancelled? Just where are the developers and moderators? What does gameplay look like right now? And what is happening to our promised Halloween release? Well, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we have a long video ahead of us. There are no simple answers to these questions, and I have good video footage to show for the debugger gameplay. As a result, this is going to be one of my longest update videos so far. This will be divided into 4 sections. Is R4D cancelled? What happened to the developers and Discord servers? Exclusive insider look of current R4D gameplay, and last but definitely not least, what we can expect for Halloween and the remainder of this year. Without further ado, let's get started. To understand why Pimano momentarily declared the end of R4D development, we must understand how Reason for Death came to be in the first place. Back during summer vacation 2021, it became clear that R2DA was a dying game. Pimano was a very active R2DA player in the past and is still a huge fan. With several games under his belt, Pimano did not want R2DA to end, and with the aid of several R2DA veterans, Pimano got in touch with Place Rebuilder. To many people's surprise, Place Rebuilder greenlit Reason for Death and was rather helpful. This pissed off many people, because of course it would, we are the R2DA community. Anyway, so R4D development began as planned with Pimano and Lystar at the helm, Lystar being Pimano's longtime girlfriend. However, what many people did not realize was that R4D was never meant to be a full game. In fact, according to official statements from Pimano, R4D was originally meant to be a small standalone quest project, taking inspiration from R2DA and built only to host a small group of friends. However, Reason for Death gained a lot of popularity when Pimano announced it on YouTube, and the Discord server soon went from dozens of members to hundreds and then thousands. There were a lot of excitement. Lystar handled community engagement while Pimano did the hard coding. With the announcement of the summer event, hype was at an all-time high for Reason for Death. Thousands were anticipating the summer release, but when the time finally came, there was radio silence from the developers. There was a delay, and then another, and then another, and another. Very quickly, Pimano and Lystar realized that they were now producing a full-fledged campaign and PvP included game instead of a simple side quest. They had completely underestimated the expectations that the community had set, and it was now too late to change. With contributors sending in maps, community servers being set up, and the legion of loyal debuggers and moderators supporting the cause, the developers could not simply let down so many people. And so a more realistic angle was taken in early October. Pimano would focus on coding, Lystar would help with development, community engagement would be completely handed off to community leaders, and communication with debuggers and moderators would be kept at minimum in order to meet the new release target, Halloween. While official updates remained silent, debuggers and close contacts kept everyone updated, and the developers were making great strides in creating the game. All was going well, but then problems arose. Pimano suddenly disappeared for a few days. On the surface, everything appeared okay, but the debuggers knew something wasn't right. Pimano was never a huge fan of talking, but he never has been actually away completely. Soon, it was discovered that Pimano's grandmother is gravely ill. Furthermore, the development team was not taking the stress very well. With pressure at an all-time high to show results, Lystar's not-so-good mental health declined further. With both developers having their own problems, the game was going nowhere. So a mysterious old friend of Pimano was brought on board to complete R4D. Things remained hopeful and debugging was on track. By the looks of things, we were on a smooth path to the highly anticipated Halloween release. That is, until Pimano dropped a bomb. Pimano had declared that R4D development was to be halted. This message was not made public at first, with only debuggers knowing the news. However, very quickly, the official Discord ownership was transferred to 3 trusted debuggers, and the official Reason for Death developers' accounts were nowhere to be found. Shocked, all the debuggers, moderators, and contributors thought the game was legitimately done for. Despite everybody's hard work and the sweat and tears of the developers, for a moment, we all believed it was over. The official server updates channel became live with news, and the community server mourned and closed its messages. Everyone bid their farewells and goodbyes. But then Alex, the Reason for Death community server owner, received an unexpected notification, a friend request from none other than Pimano himself. Our Lord and Savior Pimano walked free of the tomb and had descended upon the mortal plane, for he pronounced to our prophet Alex that our R4D was not cancelled. This news spread quickly, and Pimano returned to reclaim his throne. For now, we can still expect Reason for Death to be made and released, but how and when will be discussed in this video in parts 3 and 4. Instead of reminding you to like and subscribe, please consider getting free 2-day shipping movies and music with my Amazon Prime link down below. It's a completely free 30-day trial and would help me pay my water bills and make more videos. Now on to debug gameplay and leaks. This week we actually had legitimate debug footage of the Halloween quest map. Compared to last time's debug, what we got this time is astronomically better. This footage was originally meant to be streamed by Pimino, but he has severe technical issues, so I'm going to show off the quest map for him right now. For this part, I'm going to go off script and just start talking and show you the GUI of Reason for Death and what the Halloween quest looks like. Okay, spawning in, we can see Pimino having technical difficulties in that corner, and if I press E, I can start floating and flying around. Mind you, I'm not the best controller here, but it gets the job done. There we go. Oh, I'm also on trackpad. Floating around, we can see the map. There are a few other debuggers around, but over here we have this huge lava fall. I'm not exactly sure what happens down there, but you can see cannons firing. Over here on the left, this is what I believe the spawn to be. We will spawn on this purple section, and we have to go up this green hill. If you touch one of the yellow pads, you'll get thrown up into the air and knocked down. If you fall in lava, you're screwed. So we will come across this bridge over these purple and green sections, which should be pretty easy to do, honestly, just literally walking. There's this cannon right here. We might have more cannons later on to make things more interesting. Over here we have some very basic parkour, which I immediately fail at. To be fair, it's not actual R2DA movements yet. We have this spinning rectangular prism of death, some spinning gears here, and I believe another huge cannon launcher. Decorations on the side, of course, and more parkour to reach this tower. There's 3 numbers in this tower, and I presume you have to pick the right one in order to be teleported up here or something, but it's just a guess. So of course, classic chains, don't want to fall off of those. And over on this side across from the mountain, we have a gate with some chests beside them. Not exactly sure what this is for, but I guess this is the start of the next section. By the looks of things, there are probably going to be more elements added. Regardless, over there we have what appears to be some sort of old wooden house with lit windows. Don't know what this is for. I can't really go in or do anything, so I'm gonna just ignore that. Base is where we spawn, and down a lava fall, there's this huge section. I don't see anything connecting this section to the other parts of the map, so I don't know what this part is for. But it has to serve some sort of function. Maybe you can spawn in 2 different locations? Don't know. But once you pass through the parkour, you can start fighting the actual boss. Now, apparently this Pumpkinator boss has been played by debuggers and beat earlier, but there's nothing too much to say. Now, this boss is called the Bottom Pumpkinator, or something like that. You can actually go inside this boss and see the miniguns, and oof, the round ended. And this arena looks pretty interesting. Over here we have a mysterious door that leads onto a big secret. Now if we zoom away and outside of the actual map, we can see this entire thing. And apparently if you go down here, your game just breaks. And you can see my arms moving around. My camera's completely broken though. This is what the Halloween quest map looks like from a debugger's perspective. Now on to developers and the Discord community. Pimino is back to complete Reason for Death. However, he has to take care of his grandmother, and being Russian during COVID, finances are not easy. Therefore, although Pimino is back, the speed of coding will be limited. Lystar, seriously feeling the pressure, is now off of the development team completely. Pimino said that Lystar is now done with the project, and that she is now completely uninvolved. Pimino himself will also be taking a kind of a break with not as much time spent coding as before. However, he declared that he'll finish the game basically no matter what, and with continued updates afterward. The strange new developer with 7 years of coding experience, who is apparently an old friend of Pimino, still remains a mystery. We don't know what his name is, we don't know what he's like, we don't even know his gender, other than Pimino using the male pronoun, which I'm 90% sure is translated from Russian to English using Google Translator, so it might not even be accurate. This new developer apparently does not appreciate the toxicity from the R2DA community, and his involvement will likely not be extremely big. However, there was nothing about the new developer quitting either, so we can assume that Reason for Death coding is a two-man job right now. For map making and such things, we have several contributors making huge progress, so there's nothing to worry about. I even toured several revamp and new maps, and I can tell you they perfectly captured the spirit of R2DA while being absolutely gorgeous. 100%, no doubt, these new maps are better than the ones we currently have in R2DA. While the maps are looking good, community engagement is not. One thing is for certain, the official Discord server sucks a lot, and it will likely continue to suck. The updates channel is not very frequently updated, and even the debugger chats are constantly deleted. Right now, the official server is governed by several trusted debuggers, but they are likely to keep the status quo as to not create any more disturbances, especially when Pimino is not actively releasing news. With the Lightstar gone, we can basically expect an end to communications by the official Discord. This brings us to the R4D community server where you and everyone else can freely and publicly talk. The Discord link is at the bottom of my description. I highly recommend coming to this community server where all the debuggers and community members can be found and talked to. Here we had an incident where several mods abused their power and a few trolls added oil to the fire. This led to a temporary closure of channels, which also happened due to Pimino momentarily announcing the end of R4D. A new round of mod applications happened and are still happening, so this is your chance to join and apply to be a community server mod. Once again, the join link is in the description. I hope to see you there. Now, on to the elephant in the room. What exactly can we expect for Halloween and maybe Christmas? Well, to answer that question, absolutely nothing. Pimino declared that the Halloween release will not happen for certain. Despite the current debug map being basically complete with much of the scripts done, there still remains a huge surprise that is not finished. So the current Halloween plans are pushed to next year's Halloween, and as for the next release plan, nothing official has come out yet. We know that Pimino is taking it easier, but we were also told that development is still in progress. So what does that mean for us eagerly waiting for the game to come out? Well, some of us debuggers have speculations, but do not quote me on these because I know some of y'all out there are out to get me if I spread false information. But I think it's fair to take some guesses. So between summer and today, there have just been several months. We went from very basic animation of a turtle and some concept art of an island to a fully animated rotten pumpkin boss battling players over an active quest map. This is not to mention a bunch of fantastic new maps finished by the contributors and approved by Pimino. This is all to say that a lot of progress has come in a fairly short time, and we have about this much time left before reaching Christmas, with a barely incomplete Halloween release, which is planned to be rescheduled to next Halloween. I think it is reasonable to say that the next release will be on Christmas. I personally think it makes perfect sense to do it then, because you know, it's literally Christmas. But nothing official has come out about it. Heck, we might even get a release in November for all I know. But that is all to say nothing is set in stone. Go claim that free 30-day Amazon Prime trial in my description, like and subscribe to stay updated, and I'll see you in the next one.